Hello. We're going to be talking about OBS today and what I believe are the best settings. They work for me and I hope they work for you. OBS is just a broadcasting software, so it helps if you know a little bit about audio or visual, video, anything like that. But if not, it's not a hard program. It's as hard as you make it out to be, or it's as easy as you make it out to be. That's your choice. Let's go ahead and get started. Whoa, everything looks crazy. So this screen right up here is just a preview screen. You can disable it, enable it. Nothing big. This is exactly what you see. But let's focus down here on this little taskbar. So over here, you got your scenes. That is whatever is being broadcasted, and you can simply just keep them as a broadcasting thing and make it all simple. Mine only look a little bit complicated because I do multiple things and I use scenes inside of scenes. It's a pretty cool trick, so you can do different effects with something that you already have. Now, over here, you got your sources. What do they mean by sources? Such as your cameras, your microphones, everything like that, your desktop audio. And then over here, you got your little mixer. It's able to tell where, what volume levels are at. And then you can throw in limiters and everything so you don't exceed a certain volume. Of course, you want to make sure you stay out of the red on a lot of things. And then you got these like double dots down here, and that's telling you as you are inputting a signal if it's already clipping before you get it in there. And you got your faders, which, increase and decrease volume. Over here, you got your scene transitions. So the scene transitions simply go, I have a stinger effect, and the majority of people will have stinger effects, but you could have anything else. Whereas, you're going to also see um, that go on right there. That's a little stinger transition. That's the one that I have personally. The only thing is you got to set up the timing and make sure that it is correct because the audio and the timing's gotta, go with each other. Then you got your controls over here where you would start streaming. Then you would start and stop recording. That's what I'm recording this off of right now. And then you got settings, which is where we are going to spend a majority of our time. So now you see all these settings right here. Your general, you're going to open it up and you're going to be like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff. You're not going to be touching any of this, to be honest. The only thing that you can really touch is like if you want your tray to do something different, which your tray is way down here on your desktop, you can make sure it's enabled and everything like that. Um, then beyond that, you can do the dark mode or any other modes, and it's just going to change the border of everything. And just keep it on dark, keep it nice and simple. Um, I have it automatically checking for updates on start. Um, Whenever you update, you got to update OBS Studio, and you got to update which form of OBS you're using. So that might sound a little bit confusing, but OBS is the broadcasting software itself. Then you need some external source like Streamlabs OBS. Um, I personally use Stream Elements OBS, or it's just called Stream Elements Live or whatever. But that's the one I personally use. There's a couple different ones. It's just take your pick. I use Stream Elements just because I found it to be simple with a bunch of options. So then you're going to go to the streaming tab. The streaming tab, it's whatever platform you want to be on, whether it's Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or Restream. Restream is a good company if you want to stream on multiple platforms. I used to use it, but I do not anymore. I'm just solely on Facebook. The stream key is very important. The stream key is what you get from that platform, and you have to input it either every single time or you can set it to a set one. Me personally, I just get a different stream key every time. Come in, I'll get it from Facebook, and then I plug it in here, and then apply and hit OK, and boom, I have the stream key for the day essentially, or for that stream. These are some pretty good recommendations down here. They're different for every platform. So on Facebook, it's telling me my video bit rate maximum is this, my audio bit rate is maximum this, my maximum resolution 1080, and your maximum FPS is going to be 60. And that's a little good of information, so you know where your cap is, what you can max out at. If you also don't know where to get the stream key, you can click the stream key, get it, and it'll send you to where you need to get it from. Your output source. This is a very important tab. This is what either can damage you or help you. So you got your streaming, your recording, and your audio. Um, you just want to make sure that your output mode is advanced. That way, I'm just going to go and knock out audio real quick. So the max they said is that 128 for Facebook. So I use 128. My computer can handle it, and everything sounds just fine. The recording and the streaming, I keep them both kind of the same settings, but you can interchange them if you would like. There's with the recording, I make sure that my format's the MP4. I have an RTX NVIDIA graphics card. And so with that, my encoder is going to be the NVIDIA NVENC. If you do not, then you use the encoder that's default, which is at like 264, something like that. My output, I don't rescale it to anything else. I just keep my output at the 1920 1080. You want to make sure that your rate control is the CBR. Now, my maximum bit rate for Facebook would have been 9,000 kbps. I use 8,000. If you're on Twitch, the maximum is 6,000. And the bit rate just goes along with your internet. And it's there's formulas out there and whatnot, but it's just whatever your internet can handle. You want to make sure that you have good upload speed. Upload speed is everything for this. And the thing that gets tricky is the translation. So this is a rate of kbps, whereas your internet speeds are given to you as mbps, megabytes per second. These are kilobytes per second. And so 8,000, this equates to 8 megabytes per second. And so I have like, I think 20 with my ISP, my internet service provider. And so, I'm solid. I can rock 6 or 8,000 just fine. You want to keep your keyframe at 2. You want to make sure that your preset is at max quality and your profile is at high. You want to make sure that look ahead is turned off and keep your psycho visual tuning on. Your GPU keep at 0 and your max B frame keep at 2. Now, these frames are just frames looking ahead of time and what your system needs. These are pretty much defaults and they work just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Then you got your audio tab. My sample rate I keep at 48 kilohertz. Your audio settings, these are just where you want your audio to output, whether it's your desktop audio, your microphone. So I have my mic coming from my voice mod, and that way I can get the effects and whatnot, and they input and I can hear them just fine. Beyond that, after you get your audio signals determined, which inputs they are, outputs they are, you're done with that. You don't need to do anything else. Your video output, this is essentially how it's going to be presented. And so my canvas is going to be at the 1920 1080, and that's where I'm going to keep it. I ain't going to do anything else. Now, your downscale filter, I have it as the Lansos. This is the 36 samples, the sharpen scaling. It's supposed to give you the best visual effect. And then my FPS, I want to keep that at 60. I can handle this. My PC can handle this. If it can't, if your PC cannot, there's little things that you just want to do here and there. Depending on what platform you are, and they might determine the bit rate to be lower or higher, and that's going to determine what the resolution is when you output it. And so if you're having like stuttering issues and everything, you want to try lowering the bit rate. You want to try maybe holding back on the 1080, go down to 720. It still looks just as fine. But you still want to try to keep the Lansos. If not, you just want to go down just one step at a time. There's only 4 options. I really wouldn't want you to get down to 30 frames per second, but you might need to if your computer can't handle it. Hotkeys, that's only for if you want shortcuts and whatnot. The only shortcut I personally have is a screenshot, and that is so my presentation can take a screenshot and then I can upload it as a thumbnail upon whatever platform I'm trying to put it on. But my thumbnails on Facebook are not working, and I don't know why. Not my problem. Process priority, you wanted to keep this at normal. I don't know if normal was the default or not, but sometimes your programs are either set above normal, below normal, anything like that. You just want to try to keep everything at normal. Um, it the programs generally just work better. You don't need to change anything with the Direct 3D 11. Don't need to do anything crazy with the color space or the range, but they do. If you're able to change your color space and color range, and you're able to see there's subtle differences. And if you like the subtle difference, keep that. It's fine. Beyond that, the only other thing is really the enable browser source hardware acceleration. This just kind of helps your CPU if your CPU is struggling. Um, if your CPU is not struggling, then you don't have to worry about this at all. But if your CPU is struggling, you want to turn this on. If your CPU is not struggling, then it doesn't matter if it's on or not. As far as the settings, that's it. But then you can dive into your sources and everything, such as your cameras, your microphones, and you can go to your filters, the cogwheels. You'll get your properties. You're really only going to mess with filters, properties, and maybe advanced properties. If you have audio lag, you can go to advanced properties and add the sync offset. That'll time things up better. Years ago, when I had my older computer that was a little sluggish, I had a delay with my desktop audio versus the input of audio itself, and so I had to sync something by a couple hundred milliseconds. And you just do little recordings and you make sure that they're okay. And once it's set up right, then you go live. But you want to test. Never stop testing. You do not want to put a product out there that is a joke, essentially. You click that, you're going to mute the microphone. You're going to mute whatever source it is. And the best thing to do is get off of using a mouse and clicking this stuff. Get yourself a Stream Deck. Get yourself some hotkey set up so you'll only have to push a button and it'll register something else. Let me try to. Okay, so I'm going to give a small example of the scene inside of a scene. So I got my explosion down here. This is my explosion scene, and it's just black behind, and you see the explosion. It's got the boom, the desktop audio, the microphone. Now it's like, okay, so I want this guy, and I want him sent somewhere else. So I'm going to go where he is sent. All right, we'll be right here, my intermission scene. And then we can look at my sources down here. I got explode right here. If you can kind of see my mouse highlighting over him. And what I did was go to add. I added scene. And I had it already existing. So I went to add existing and explode. And then it just pretty much says it's going to cover the area. You can rotate, drag and drop and all that kind of stuff. And eventually it's just sits right on top. It's perfect. But that's what we're going to finish with today. And thank you for watching. More videos to come.